It's now important to emphasize, as is done by the recent EU report, that the multilateral system is at risk if the international community fails to address the threats associated with climate change. The global demand for relief action could put the Security Council and other UN bodies into a more challenging crisis than they have ever envisioned.
The Washington Post is willing to share their knowledge with you, but the whole idea of connecting people to knowledge wherever it is, which is the ethic of the web, has taken them a while to understand.
Is newspapers of this quality and caliber, which in effect set the agenda for television and set the agenda for much that's on the web for discussion purposes, are at risk.
The capacity for dialogue in virtual spaces exceeds the capacity for dialogue both on blogs and then traditional media, but it builds on those traditions. And I think acting as if they're mutually exclusive undermines the fact that they build on each other.
I'm actually trying to move policy and move people who are doing policy. And while there's a grassroots element to many blogs, I am really trying to move elites, and I'm trying to let some elites know that if they don't move in certain ways or they engage in behavior that maybe the New York Times might not focus on, but the blog might, they'll pay a political price to some degree.
With our workshops for ethics in business and our Global Policy Innovations program, the Carnegie Council is doing something completely unique. We're convening people from various parts of society, and we're addressing the most pressing issues of today, from global climate change to energy security to corruption, and we're doing so through the prism of ethics.
Blog readers are going to expect this to be a constant revolution and a constant outsider perspective. But you're going to start seeing bloggers on the inside of the Democratic Party very soon. At some point, you're going to see these people running a presidential campaign.
More recently, we begin to see the revival of wars over commodities, such as the Iraq-Kuwait War. Ironically, Russia lost a war of ideology, the Cold War, and now is in some sense winning an economic contest with the European Union by holding the EU hostage over its control over oil and natural gas. Now, finally, I'd like to pick up a reference to Sir Norman Angell that we've heard about a little earlier. He wrote The Great Illusion. After he wrote this book, he was elected to Parliament in Britain in 1929, and in 1933 he won the Nobel Prize. But the policy implications of his work were ignored by the government of the day. Now, I find it very ironic that someone could leave elected office, win the Nobel Prize, and then at the same time have his work be completely ignored by the government of the day. But I'm sure that'll never happen again. Thank you very much.